All right, so we're on live now with Walt Smith from Impact Images. Hi, Walt. How you doing?
Hey, TW, I'm good. How about you?
Good, good. Walt, I'm excited to have you on because you're one of those guys. I've been with Capturelife for I think 18 months now, and you were one of the first photographers to call me directly, and I loved it. You kind of made me nervous, but I loved it at the same time because you threw all these questions out at me, and I'm one of those guys that I really like to genuinely help people. And you brought a workflow problem to me, and for 20, my career in the photo industry has been solving workflow problems. Right? 20 years ago, I was handed a film and chemistry lab that needed to go digital, and so basically I've been trying to solve workflow issues. And I absolutely loved the project that you brought to me. I think today during this Capturelife Virtual Users Conference, I'm going to show, you and I have been talking about this, but I'm going to show this new workflow that's going right from the camera out to Capturelife and the consumer, and cash in that model as well, additional sales. So we'll see that in a little bit. But for now, I wanted to bring you on to this session because you did bring me those questions, and you've been thinking about these things now, obviously, from before I came on board with Capturelife. And so let's go back, let's rewind 18 months. It's when you first came on board with Capturelife. And for many photographers, yeah, the bells and whistles that I'm about to show, those are all very cool things, but let's rewind back and can you just let me know how you got your start? Like, where did you pick off in your workflow and process? How did you just get started with digital and Capturelife?
Well, we started with trying to deliver digital files probably way before almost anybody else at this level in my business. I remember taking a lot of heat at a SPAC convention one year because I wanted to move towards the digital side of things, and everybody said, "Oh, you're crazy, you'll only sell one and everybody will share it and you'll never sell anything else and nobody wants it." And I just said, I don't believe any of that. I had done some focus groups, which I think is really important for photographers in the volume business to really understand your market. I did the focus group with 20 parents that did not buy pictures on picture day. I took them to dinner, sat down, talked to them for about an hour and a half. And the biggest reason they didn't buy pictures is because they didn't want any more prints. They've got a drawer full of pictures by the time their kid's 10 years old that they don't know what to do with. They wanted digital files. And I had been thinking that was the way to go, and this just confirmed it. So that started me down the journey of realizing this generation of consumer, they want stuff at their fingertips, and that's what I wanted to deliver to them. So we started selling digital files without getting into my own workflow and the packages. Unless you want to do that, I'll be glad to. But we started selling files of individuals and teams. And within 6 months of doing that, it was our #1 seller. Mm-hmm. Now we sell over 70% of every customer buys a digital package. And it's digital only. In fact, we've moved to some leagues now that we're doing digital only, period. So we were using a download method through Zenfolio on our website. We'd give them a code, they go download, get their prints because they've already paid, or their files because they've already paid for them. And it just led to more and more problems. People couldn't understand the download process. They didn't get it right. They lost their code. While it was a good theory and a good way to deliver the product, it was just more time consuming and costing us more work. So when you guys came out and I saw you, I was like, oh my God, this is exactly what I've been looking for. I need a digital delivery solution that's easy, simple, and foolproof. And that's where you guys come in. And ever since we jumped in, it's just been crazy with you. And again, you've seen our sales numbers. You know how many things we're running through there every month.
Yep. And I certainly appreciate the point that you just made about, because again, in the Minneapolis area where I had a similar business running youth athletic photography, we had a download system, access lookup codes, and really that's causing more work on the consumer, right?
Exactly.
As you said, headaches for your own customer support team because you have to work through with a customer online. I think that with today's mobile consumer and the ease of use of just about everything in our lives these days, right? The design is good. We're just getting, it's real fluid and real dynamic. And so certainly appreciate you coming on board with Capturelife and making that transition. And it's very refreshing to hear that it's been a good transition for you from a technology that you had in place in your workflow to Capturelife. Let's rewind just a little bit. How did you let customers know that this change was happening from an older system of digital delivery to this more modern system?
Well, anytime you need to bring something new to your customers, it's always about education. So how can we get information to them easiest, simplest, less confusing way as possible? So I made a banner, 7-foot pull-up banner about digital files and why you should think about buying digital files instead of prints. And we had 7 key points listed on it, and it's sitting right there next to our sample table at League Day. So everything they need to know about digital files and the advantages of Capturelife. Not only are you getting your files easily and quickly, but what it can do for you in the future. It can organize your photos on your phone. It can keep your kids' photos in separate folders. So when you need them later, they're in 7th grade now, by the time they're a senior and you want to pull up all those senior pictures for a senior video, it's right there in the Capturelife folder.
Yep.
So it's just about educating them, 1, what it can do for them, 2, how easy it is, and 3, what a convenience it all is not to have to deal with anything else except a couple of clicks on your phone. So we made the banner. We also made little business cards. Every person, when they check out at the table, if they bought the digital package, we give them a little card that says, hey, you bought digital files. You're going to get a text that says your Capturelife, your photos from Impact Images and Capturelife are coming. Watch out for a text. This will be the number that it comes from so that they don't think it's junk or spam. And it just reminds them, oh, my digital files are coming.
Yeah.
Previous to that, we would deliver back a little card with a download code from our website when we delivered back all the other pictures. The other great advantage that people are loving with Capturelife is now, as soon as that order hits the lab for prints, the Capturelife order goes out immediately. So they get their pictures way before anybody else that orders prints, and it's so simple.
Yeah.
The other thing we show them on League Day, if they have any questions or don't understand it, is all my staff will pull out a phone, open up the Capturelife app, show them what a picture looks like, show them how you can just go order a picture with such total ease.
Yep.
And they're just blown away with the technology.
Yep. So we certainly have seen, and you've been very successful with Capturelife, and we've seen this with other photographers. Again, it's the information that you get to your customers on picture day, letting them know that it's going to be delivered digitally. That certainly leads to success on the back end with your customers getting their images, knowing how the images are going to come to them. And as you mentioned, it's almost its own self-marketing platform when these customers are getting these images on their phone ahead of any other products. Again, as consumers, we're starting to get used to this, the everything happening right away, right?
We live in the serve me now generation, and this kind of needs.
Yeah. And your customers, they've received Capturelife well. I mean, as far as this storage system, having the images in one place on their phone.
Our feedback is people love it. People absolutely think it's the greatest thing. And now that we've been through a whole year and we're starting in the second year, the second cycle, there are parents that walk up and they don't even look. They just grab an order form, Capturelife, and if they hear us talking to another parent, like my person on the sample table will be answering questions about digital files, and the parents that already have it, like, oh, you'll love it. It's the greatest thing. Just do it. Super simple. So now the parents are starting to market to the other parents for us because they've seen it, they've shared it, they know what's going on. If they hear questions being asked, they'll chime right in. And it's been great.
You mentioned another thing that I don't think we hit on often enough, but you had mentioned your customer service staff having some issues before with the older system. Has that gotten better as well?
It's eliminated. I mean, before we'd have so many problems. Oh, I don't understand the download, or through the process they were using was Infolio. If you made any mistake or typed in the code wrong, that code was invalid. So we had to start over, give them a new code. We ended up just emailing them the picture in the first place, which is what we were trying to avoid.
Yeah.
I would say we probably had anywhere from 35 to 45% of those transactions were a problem. We would have to either that customer would contact us via phone or email, and we would have to deal with it. We were spending way too much time. It defeated the whole purpose of what we're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And now the only issue we ever have now is I didn't get my text or I didn't get the email. And so it's super simple in the Capturelife app or the back office just to resend it to them. And we'll tell them, hey, watch your phone. We'll send it right now. And usually they'll just stay on the phone with us and they get it. Oh, yeah. Or they'll find it in their junk folder if they prefer the email delivery method. Yep. But other than that, there's no problem. And it's just one click for us to fix it and send it back out to them.
Yeah, that's the benefit of that cloud-based service, right? It's you make an adjustment and it is fixed on the customer's phone immediately, right? It's all cloud-based, so yeah.
Exactly. And the other nice thing, I don't know if you've touched on this in other segments or not, but if there's an error in it, a data entry error, something's wrong, we have to make a correction and send it back out to someone. Again, it's just, we can do it in a click. It takes 10 seconds to send it to someone. Upload it, click send, off it goes. No more having to contact, no more having to re-email, attach it to an email, all that. It's just, this is so much simpler. Such a time saver.
The last thing I wanted to touch on before jumping into this workflow that I think you're going to love the demo coming up here in just a moment, but you've also embraced this idea. I think this is a more modern idea of high-end content delivery to your customers. There's some legacy costs that we have in the photo industry where I think it goes back to film, where we had one piece of film that was kind of expensive to produce, and so we were hyper concentrated on taking one good picture, and then we guarded that one good picture, and that's all we ever had of this kid, and we would try and sell that out to parents. But you've embraced this idea of let's take this picture and turn it into more content, right? Multiple iterations of the same picture. You're using Wes and NextGen to create these, I've seen them, they're these incredible digital packages, right, with crazy backgrounds and graphics and overlays. That's a very modern take, I think, on this as far as the industry in itself and how we need to move forward as photographers and what we're providing to our consumers who are now getting used to this multitude of content, right? How do you sell that level of content on Picture Day? I mean, how do you present that to your customers?
It's pretty simple. There's people that just want the basic package. I want my kid's picture and I want a team picture. No different than if it's prints. It's just the digital view of that. So we have that. We have two different packages. We have a basic, which gives you just that. You get your individual file and you get a team file. But if you want more than that, we obviously can give you more than that. So we have a bigger package, a bigger digital package, the grand package, that has 4 digital files in it. It has a different background for the kid, a different template, a different product. When it's digital like this, especially with working with Wes and NextGen and marrying it all together, it's nothing for you to create 5 different products that you can send out. Yep. You can send up to 9 things in one Capturelife order. You can send more than that, but the basic Capturelife order is up to 9 files. So why not give them 9 files? It costs you virtually nothing more. It's a great perceived value for the customer, and all that does is increase your revenue. And I think that's important. Since we started selling digital files, everybody told me that the conventional thinking was you're not going to make any money, you're going to lose money. Our average sale is up $6, and our participation is up as well. So if you're not selling digital files and if you're not using Capturelife, you're sitting on the sidelines, and somebody like me is going to come run by you.
I couldn't agree more. And again, we've been watching trends in this industry. You're certainly up on all of these trends. Again, you've been pushing us. I will thank you again for doing that, right? Because Capturelife is definitely a forward-thinking company and platform, and we certainly appreciate having photographers like you help us keep this machine churning and turn this in, not just Capturelife, but the industry in itself into what it needs to become next, right? We certainly appreciate the feedback and all the pushing, so thank you.
Well, in this business, you can't survive unless you have good partners working with you. So I need you guys as much as you need us. This industry, there's one way to survive. You either evolve or you evade. You keep pushing forward or you get out. Evolve or evade. You can do that kind of stuff with Capturelife, NextGen, and other partners that are out there that are always forward thinking and pushing and pushing and pushing. Otherwise, you're going to sit back and be watching everybody else do it. And I'm not interested in that.
I appreciate it, Walt. I appreciate you coming on. Stick around because what we're going to see next is that sneak peek around the corner of what we're working on at Capturelife. And again, it's this, the idea that we're plugging companies together. It's no longer this everything is mine, I'm going to hold on to this model. You just mentioned it. You grab this high quality content from Wes and NextGen. You take Capturelife delivery. What we're going to see happens to work with Canon cameras in this seamless fashion. And this is, again, what I believe this is what we're all leading towards, this plug and play nature of taking all of these wonderful companies, putting it all together and providing ultimately consumers a product that they want. And as you mentioned, that they're going to pay for.
I can't wait to see it. I'm so excited.
Thanks, Walt. Appreciate it.
All right. Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.